listening to Good Morning Gwinnett, a division of Noise Media Network, hosted by Audrey Bell Kearney, sharing stories about people and places around beautiful Gwinnett County and beyond. Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Southern living at its best.
Good morning, all my Gwinnetians out there in Gwinnett land and all of my friends around the world. Beautiful day here in Gwinnett County, 78 degrees, going up to a high of 91. Sun is shining, but we know that can quickly change. Listen, yesterday I was sitting here working, and it started to pour down. First, I heard like little drops. Then all of a sudden, I just heard the sky just fall out. Like it just, I'm talking about storm, y'all. So I'm sitting here, and I'm going to keep on working, right? And, I was looking at my phone or doing something, and a big thundering boom, scared the daylights out of me. I almost dropped my phone. It scared me, right? But that's when I heard my grandmother in my head say, cut off everything, go sit somewhere and be quiet. That's what I heard. I got up out my chair. I was like, yeah, I'm going to wait till this pass over. I'm going to go in here in my room. I'm going to go in my bedroom and just sit here for a little while and meditate. Because when I was a kid, I don't know about you guys, but down south when you're a kid, and I spent the first part of my childhood down south until I was 12, where I was born here in Georgia. And when it rained and thunder and lightning, you couldn't do anything except for get somewhere and sit down. They didn't say sit down, sit down. Get somewhere and sit down. And those of you born in the South know what that means. It means go somewhere, shut your mouth, don't be talking while it's thundering and lightning. Get somewhere and sit down. That's what that meant, right? So yesterday I had a flashback of that because it was so crazy. It was like get somewhere, go in your room, RG, and sit down. I got up because in my mind it was thundering and lightning so bad. I was like, wait a minute. Let me get up. And my uncle, he and I were both in the house, and it scared him too. He said, I almost dropped my phone. I said, me too. And it was hilarious. But, today is beautiful. It started out beautiful yesterday. It did. And then all of a sudden the sky just fell out. I'm talking about poured down. Even later on, my internet went out. Everything went out twice. And I was like, wow, we had a real storm. So the weather is pretty strange, y'all. I know that, we're rolling into hurricane season. Hurricane season normally starts in June. But normally the weather doesn't get bad until like September. It starts to get really choppy. The weather has been pretty crazy all of July and June. So I'm not even understanding. I'm not even trying to figure out what August and September and October are going to look like, because we've already had some crazy weather just from, June and July. Just crazy. Like just raining. It's been raining so much. And I was outside this morning with my uncle. And he was like, the grass is so pretty since it's been raining. It is. It's really nice and healthy looking. My husband cut the lawn the other day and the grass looked nice and healthy looking. But it's some crazy weather. Anyway, let's get the show rolling. Today is Tuesday. It's Talk Business Tuesday. Yes, it is. And for those of you who don't know, you're listening for the first time. I am the president of the Gwinnett Women's Chamber of Commerce. I'm also the president of the GWC Foundation. And both of those are nonprofits. One is a 501c6 and the other is a 501c3. And when it comes to marketing these organizations, what I lean on is content marketing. I lean heavily on content marketing, but I know that a lot of people just think it's a lot of work. It's challenging for some people, but I wanted to create this 8-part series about content marketing for nonprofits because it's so important. And I also want to talk about like some of the amazing tools that are available. So I'm going to be breaking down tools, for the next few weeks, the next 8 weeks, like what I'm using, things I'm using, strategies I'm using, and things like that. Because right now we're working on at Gwinnett Women's Chamber, we're working on the Her Green Startup Incubator. And so I have a content marketing plan that I'm putting together for that. To market that to increase interest in what we're doing. And so I felt like, this would be a great opportunity for me to start talking to other nonprofits about what that actually looks like and how to get started. Because there's so many things you can do, but I want to talk about why it's important. Like, why is it important for you to, have a content marketing strategies, and what can people expect, and what's the expectation? Because I know nonprofits are pretty stretched. They don't have a huge team of people. They don't have, a lot of them don't have big budgets. And I'm talking from straight up living in the midst of two of them, So you have to do what you got to do. And for me, that's creating content. That's creating stories. That's telling telling your mission over and over and over again. And I got to be honest. I'm guilty of not doing that as much as I should, right? But I put out a lot of content every day. I do a newsletter 5 days a week. I do this podcast 4 days a week. I do another newsletter every Monday. I got another newsletter that's going to be coming out every Sunday. So I'm doing the work in that space. I just not put everything towards Gwinnett Women's Chamber. Now, you do hear me mention it a lot. I mention it a lot on the show, and this is content. So whether I'm talking about, everything GWC, the fact that I'm mentioning it in pretty much in every episode, check out the Gwinnett Women's Chamber. I'm telling you about what we're doing at the chamber. I'm talking about the chamber. That's content, right? Even though I'm doing the Good Morning Gwinnett show, I mention Gwinnett Women's Chamber at least once in every show. And the reason for that is because I want people to go check out GwinnettWomen'sChamber.com to find out what we do. That's content. And it's simple because it's in the mix of what I do already. But I want to talk about why I think all nonprofits should have a content marketing strategy. And here's some reasons why, right? If you are in the business of supporting people and communities and organizations, and you're doing good work and you've had some positive change in your nonprofit, you can use those stories to impact other people to become a part of what you're doing, to support what you're doing. Tell the stories. You don't have to tell your story. Tell their stories. Because here's the thing. Their stories is even more powerful than your story. Why you started the nonprofit is powerful, right? Because you started probably because it was a hard project, right? You didn't start it because you wanted to get rich, because nobody gets rich in nonprofits unless you got some criminal junk going on. But most of us don't have that. That's not where our hearts are. We start these organizations because we have a mission and a vision that God has given us that we feel like we need to carry it out. And they're pretty much heart projects because you don't make any money for real. I mean, if you're lucky, you have a $6 million budget and you can get a salary, but that's very few and far in between, right? So you have people that you serve, you're serving them well. Tell their stories because their stories will impact what you're trying to do. Their stories will inspire other people. Their stories will inspire people to give and support your organization. Tell the stories. Now, another thing you want to do is talk about the people that is beneficiaries. Like, what are they going to get? Have them share information about, what happened to them on their platforms. You can put it on your platform, but have them tell their stories on their platform. If you've helped them, if your organization has helped them, tell them to tell a story. Tell it to the friends. Tell it to the neighbors. Tell somebody about what happened and why it happened and how it's helped them. Because here's the thing. Story sells. They do, right? If you look at I was looking at YouTube the other day. And this woman got it. So lately, it's been a lot of people who've been putting out videos. Oh, YouTube saved my life. And so I'm looking at that. There's a bunch of them all of a sudden. And they have some of them have hundreds and thousands of views. But people started out telling the story of why they started the YouTube channel and how it's changed their lives. And I'm going to put one out too. Once I get to 10,000 subscribers or 15,000 subscribers, I'm going to put, because I'm sure it's going to be a change for me. Once I get to that number, I'm going to put out on my first 1,000 subscribers. When I get to my first 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to put out how YouTube changed my life. Because now I got 1,000 people signed up to listen to what I got to say over on YouTube. So I'm definitely going to do that. But people want to hear stories. Now, you got underdog stories you can tell. You got success stories you can tell. Most of the people that I've seen tell a story on YouTube, they're talking about how they were the underdog, how things were so bad and how they had been floundering and all of these different things and how they took YouTube serious. And now they've taken YouTube serious. They've been able to get to the partner to the stage where now they're YouTube partners. Now, I was a YouTube partner a long time ago. I just kicked myself. Long time ago. Didn't even understand what that meant. Long time before they changed the criteria, I was a partner. But did not understand what that meant at the time, so I just ignored it, But they told their stories. They're telling their stories, and they're telling it on video. So when you think about what I'm saying and content, right? You can do audio content, which is what I'm doing right now. It's all audio. Starting next Monday, it'll be all video. Good morning. Well, this show will still be audio, but Good Morning Georgia will be video and audio, and probably a newsletter as well. Probably gonna be all of those things. So when you think about putting out content, you can write articles. So this show is audio. once I finish this show, I'm going to take this show and turn it into an article for my website. Then, when I do Good Morning Georgia, that's going to be audio, video, and articles, and reels, and shorts. And the reason I say that is because I'm going to take one piece of content, and I'm probably going to turn it into about 15 different pieces of content. That show is 1 hour long. And we're going to break it down so that, when we talk about the news and politics, that's going to be a second. It's going to be a short. It's going to be on a short channel, on the channel. We're going to cut it up. When I talk about business and tech, that's going to be cut up. So this is content, but that's one piece of content. So even if you say, okay, Audrey, I'm going to do an audio. All I want to do is audio. I'm going to do a podcast. You set your podcast up. Your podcast is syndicated across all of these different platforms. You use a software like a Headliner, right? You take Headliner. Headliner is going to turn it into like a little video. But here's the thing. You're not going to see any pictures. You're just going to see like the wave line going, but it's still like a video. And then you post it over on YouTube. Now, I can tell you from experience that that's not a great strategy. It is a good strategy to make sure you're creating the content. But if you're going to put it on YouTube, it needs to be a video. Right? Now, YouTube does have a place now for you to say this is a podcast, which I thought that was pretty cool. This is a podcast, and now it's just like a whole podcast channel. Like you can say, what are you creating? A video, a podcast, or some other stuff you can do. You can let them know that this is a podcast, and I think that way you'll be able to upload the audio. You cannot upload audio to YouTube if it's not in the wave in an MP4 format. So you can create the audio. Use something like Headliner. It's headliner.app. Use Headliner. Turn it into a video. It's just going to be a static picture with a wave going across, and then you can put it on YouTube. So now you got two pieces of content, really. You got the audio version that's across all of the platforms. Then you got the YouTube version, which is on YouTube. Now, what's important about that is really having titles that pop for YouTube. Every day I spend about 10 minutes trying to come up with the best titles. And I have I use a software called vidIQ, and vidIQ tell me how good my title is. It'll tell me your title is a 20, it's a 30, it's a 60. When I get to 80, which is it's in the green, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Because at that point I know that now all I gotta do is do a couple of other things to get my podcast, to get my episode to like 90 and above. I'm at 80 already. I got to do a couple other things. And I'm going to talk about all of that stuff in some future episodes. But right now, I want you to understand like why you should be creating content. One, tell your stories. It's a good story. Then have your people tell their stories. Have your people tell their stories about what your organization did for them, how it was able to support them. So you tell your stories, then you have your organization tell the story. Because you can also have people inside the organization that work there tell stories. So if you know that you're not a storyteller, but there's somebody that can tell a hidden story, let them start a podcast. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be drawn out. It doesn't have to be difficult. It's a pretty simple process when you start a podcast. But I want you to be intentional about it, right? So even before you decide to launch it, write down 52 things that you could talk about on your podcast. Even if you decide to make this a video show. 52. And I always say 52. And people say, why do you say 52, Audrey? Well, I want you to be able to create an episode a week. If you can come up with 52 things to talk about, you can create an episode a week. And I was just talking to somebody earlier and before the show, and that's exactly what I said. I said she was like, she went to start a very specific show. And I said to her, you need to see, can you come up with 104 topics for that show? It's why 104, because it's going to give you 2 years worth of content. Now that sounds like a lot, right? But here's the thing, years go by really quickly. And you don't want to run out of things to talk about. So be very intentional about what stories you want to tell. If you had and here's the thing, they don't always have to be like these great stories about, how beneficial it was. Tell some stories that was horrible. Like how you did a fundraiser and nobody showed up. Like how your goal was to raise $10,000 and you raised $100. Things like tell those stories, because those stories matter. and you want people to start to follow you and understand your brand, understand your nonprofit's mission, tell a story. Tell a real stories. Be authentic. Tell those stories. Yeah, I want you to tell stories of impact. I want you to tell stories about the people who benefited from what your services have to offer. But I also want you to tell the stories about things that, that negatively impacted your organization, because that happens. You might have created some board members that the board members from hell. I've had them. I'm like, oh my God, I've had those. Now I don't have a board anymore because that was so painful for me. I have directors, and it's a huge difference, But I had to learn that. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand. So tell those stories. I've told my story on a few episodes about how I had board members, and I thought we were friends, and we weren't friends, and I was quickly told, this ain't about friends, this ain't about being cool, this is about business. I'm like, hold on now, let me back up. I had to backpedal because I'm looking at people because I'm a friendly person, so I'm looking at people like, okay, we cool, we friends, Nah, it wasn't about that, and they quickly showed me that it wasn't about that. I don't know what it was about, to be honest, y'all. But I've told that story on, I don't know which episode it is because I have 1,100 and more, 1,100 plus. It's on one of them episodes that I told that horrific story, and I tried not to tell it because it was painful. I don't think I've never been in a situation like that, ever. I've never been in a situation where I had to remain calm and professional when people were like barking at me. That's not anybody that knows me knows that's not my nature. I normally bark back. But I had to remain professional because I was in a professional setting. But normally that would have went way worse. You know what I'm saying? But tell that story. I've told that story plenty of times. So tell the stories of impact, tell the stories of benefit people, but also tell the horror stories. Because people who are starting nonprofits, they need to understand this is hard work. Not hard work, but it is hard and hard work. Both of those. You got to be, there are days when I say, oh my God, am I on the right track? Am I really giving the people what they want? Well, here's the thing. They don't know what they want, most of them. So I can't give it to them. So I'm just going to do the best I can, giving them what I know, giving what I think's best. And then hopefully they'll show up and take advantage. All right, y'all. See, I'm losing my voice again, all right? So I'm going to go to a song. I'm going to come back and finish it. My throat is still bothering me. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. Maybe it's the medicine that I'm taking. I'm taking something to drop the mucus, but I'm thinking it may be drying me out too much. Maybe I need to stop taking that one. Maybe I will. I'm going to go to a song. It's called Positive Evolution. It's one of my songs. Y'all know I'm an AI music producer right now. I like AI. I'm an AI music producer, and this song is called Positive Evolution. Stay tuned. I'll be right back after this song.
Woke up this morning and the world felt new. Saw the sunlight breaking through the dew, changing the air, I feel it deep. Dreams are alive, no longer asleep. Here we go, rising will in motion, living out loud, our hearts wide open. Step by step in this revolution, we're the voices of positive evolution. Each step we take on this earth so green marks a path where hope has been. Learning to love, learning to give, teaching our hearts just how to live. Here we go, rising will in motion, living out loud, our hearts wide open. Step by step in this revolution, we're the voices of positive evolution. Hand in hand, we're painting skies, a canvas of colors from our shared lives. Mistakes are just stardust, guiding the way, turning our nights into brighter days. Here we go, rising will in motion, living out loud, our hearts wide open. find, and the world will say, forward we march, enjoy a solution. Together we spark positive evolution.
Welcome back. That's one of my songs, Positive Evolution. I've been making these songs. I think I've done 70, probably 72 or 73 of them. And I really enjoy making them. Like, they're so much fun to make. And so I made one that I'm going to play shortly called Leap of Faith. And I thought it was so nice that I made another one called I'm With Her. And I'm going to play that one tomorrow. Probably, what's tomorrow, Wednesday? Maybe Wednesday. Because I just realized, I'm with her. Let me speaking of that, I don't know which way you vote. Doesn't matter to me. What I will tell you is that I'm thinking about doing a 3-hour live stream podcast-a-thon to talk about voting and why that's important. To talk about the issues that are on the table right now, why those are important. To kind of explain and break. Now, I don't know how I'm going to talk for 3 hours. I'm trying to get my voice right. I'm trying to set up. But what I would love to do is have other podcasters do the same. Like, let's pick a marathon day and everybody go live. And they talk about, why this election is important. What's going to happen, with either candidate if they win. So, because people need to understand that, right? So I'm thinking about doing a 3-hour podcast-a-thon to talk about that. Especially that Project 2020. Like, that thing is horrific. And I want to break it down so people can understand, like, what that means. So I'm thinking about doing a 3-hour. And I'm trying to debate if I want to do a 3-hour video. I haven't made up my mind yet about that. Live stream video. But I know I want to do something. Because I want to be a part of what's happening. I want to be a part of saving our democracy. I want to be a part of that because I love the United States. There are other places I want to visit in the world, but the United States is my birth home. And I would like to stay here and live in happiness and peace and joy. Like heaven on earth. That's what I'm looking for. And I want to be able to help create that heaven on earth in my own way. And for me, it's content. It's podcasting. It's video. It's how I do stuff. Right? This is the space that I live in. This is a space that I love. So I want to leverage my platforms to do that. All right. Why else do nonprofits need I'm stuttering. Why else do nonprofits need content marketing and how they can use it? Well, if you got people that volunteer with you, right? There are a lot of people who love a cause and they will volunteer day and night. One of the things I think about when I think about that, I think about food banks. I did I volunteered at a food bank one time. I had never volunteered at a food bank before. It was just an amazing time, right? I was in a room full of a bunch of women. We were there. We were putting foods in bags. I'm talking about when I tell y'all people donated a lot of food. What was interesting though, they didn't send candy. They didn't. I don't know why. So they didn't put candy in the bags, but you couldn't take candy out of the building. So people sent candy and cookies and things like that. You couldn't put that in the grocery bags, which I thought that was pretty crazy because I feel like that was a treat, especially for people but they wouldn't put candy, and they wouldn't let the volunteers take the candy. Some of the volunteers actually took the candy. I was like, I ain't taking nothing. Y'all not about to embarrass me up in here taking some candy from the volunteers from the food bank. Not gonna happen. Some of them did. It's like this one lady said, I'm about to take these Almond Joys. I definitely wasn't taking Almond Joys because I'm allergic. I'm allergic to something. I don't even know what it is. I don't know if it's the coconut, something I'm allergic to. But I was like, I'm definitely not taking the Almond Joys. Right? But they took the Almond Joys. But those are people, they volunteer to support an organization. I did a food bank. I've also done volunteer with other nonprofits. You can spotlight your volunteers. You can showcase the work that they're doing with your organization. You can put some shine on them. You can showcase their contributions that they make as volunteers because they do a lot of work. You got some really good volunteers who will work day and night for the organizations they believe in. Shine a spotlight on them. Let them tell their stories. Let them tell why they support the organization. Let them tell why they give so freely of their time. Put that in some kind of content. If you do a video, you take the video, you turn it into audio, you take the audio, you turn it into an article. 3 pieces of content. If the video is long, you take the video, you chop it up, and turn it into 60-second spots. Now you got a bunch of 60-second spots to put on your Instagram, your Facebook Shorts, your YouTube Shorts, your TikTok. How many places? That's 4 right there, right? So you got to be smart about this. Now, if your organization has educational materials, right, that you share with people, especially if those materials are free, you can take, let's say you got a pamphlet. And I'll give you a prime example. This wasn't a nonprofit, but I'll give you an example. I had a client last year. She had a tax company, and for me, content is everything. Some people don't think so. They'd rather get out and do all this other. For me, content is everything. And I said to her, you need a podcast, you know. And she's like, I don't have time to do a podcast. I don't want to do a podcast. So what I did was I leveraged AI. I went to her website. She has some really good information on her website. I took some key points out of her website, and I turned it into a script. I put it in a AI software for a voice, text to speech. Took that, put some music in it, intros and outros, gave it a name, and then we uploaded it to a podcast platform. So now she has a full-blown podcast talking about things that are on her website. As a nonprofit, you can do the same. If your nonprofit is about women's health, right? Now that's huge by itself. You can pick out 52 things from your website or from your educational materials about that. And I always say 52 because I want you to be able to create at least an episode a day. If you pick out 104, now you got 2 years worth of content. If you pull out 306, now you got 3 years worth of content. 3 years, 306 topics, you got 3 years worth of content. That's you never missing a week. If you create evergreen content, you can create small batches. So if you want to go on vacation, you just do the small batches and now schedule them to go out. But you can take content, educational content from your website, content that's going to inform your audience about the cause and related issues. You can do that. And you take that and you turn it into articles. You turn it into podcast episodes. Heck, you can even take a cause. Let's say, for instance, you were in the green space, right? So Gwinnett Women's Chamber has an initiative called Her Green Startup. And one of the things that initiative is supposed to do is to foster innovation by women in the green tech industry, right? Now because I know that's our mission and our cause, that's what we're doing, that's what we're focused on. I could take the word solar energy, just solar energy. I'm going to take solar energy. I'm going to go to InVideo. I'm going to say this video is about the importance of solar energy and how it can help people. That's all I'm going to put in there. That's the prompt I'm going to put. That software is going to create me a video based on those few words that I put in. And I'm sure the video is going to be amazing. If I don't like it, I can edit it. I can add in music, intros and outros. But here's what it's going to do. It's going to talk about an issue that I care about with the Her Green Startup for the Gwinnett Women's Chamber of Commerce. I know that sustainable living is what we're focusing on. I know the green space, green tech industry is something we're focusing on. I know these things, so I can easily take content based around that right there alone, and I know for a fact I can create 10 years worth of content and have a 10-year show based on just that, because there's so many pieces to it. You can do the same. If you have content that's educational to your audience, that's going to inform them about what you do, inform them. If you got a nonprofit, and I thought about this one because someone does have a nonprofit for this, human trafficking, right? If your nonprofit focuses on human trafficking, do you know that you can just probably create a bunch of videos just around stats? Now remember, we got 50 states. You can probably create another 50 episodes just based on state stats. You can probably create another 50 episodes just based on the Atlanta stats. Just think about that for a second. That's your cause. These are issues related to your cause that you can create content about. You know, And then your mission and your vision. Like, if communicate your core principles. Mostly all nonprofits I know have core principles. They have goals. They have core principles. They have things they're trying to accomplish. Create content around that. I can tell you right now that I've been kind of busy because I had clients to serve and all this kind of stuff. But I really, really, really want to push the GWC, her green space, her green startup. I'm really pushing it. So I'm going to create a whole bunch of videos in the green tech industry. I'm going to create a whole bunch of videos about green tech that has not been discovered. Now, I'm going to give away some great ideas. I already know that I had to make peace with that yesterday. When I was coming up with my list, I'm like, ooh, these are some really good ideas. I need to make peace with me just giving them away because somebody's going to send themselves and do that. That sounds like a great idea. But here's the thing. The goal and the mission is to save our planet. So I can't do everything. I can run this incubator. I can run this chamber. I can run the GWC Foundation. I can run Noise Media. I can't do everything. So I'm going to have to give it away. But what I am going to do is create a compelling video so you can see why you need to take up that mission. You can see why that this is one of our values. You can see why this is one of our goals. You can see why we want you to come and join us based on the videos I'm going to put out. And I'm going to put them on our GWC Facebook page, on the LinkedIn page, the YouTube page, and the Instagram page. I'm going to put them there. And then people can see them. So, this was kind of long, but I wanted to, and this is an 8-part series. I can't get into everything here, but this is an 8-part series. So let's do a quick recap of why you should, how content marketing can help you tell your story, engage and inspire your audience. First of all, you can tell stories of impact. Highlight what the work that you're doing. Highlight all of the great things that you've done. Highlight your mission and goals. You got the beneficiary testimonials. If you've helped somebody and they're proud of the help that they received from you, let them share their story. Let them send you a video or audio or something. So many tools out there, y'all. Give them a tool. Send them a link to a tool. Say, hey, record your testimony right here. That's what you do. And then you post it. Post it on your website. Post it on your social media. Let them tell you the name and then how your organization helped them. Take that. Everybody is walking around with a cell phone. Tell them to make a video. It doesn't have to be long. It could be outside in the park. It could be sitting over a barbecue grill. Whatever it is, you want the story. And the more authentic it is, the better. Because it's a real person. The people that's watching and listening, it's a real person telling a real story. Shine some spotlight on your volunteers. Most volunteers, they don't get noticed because they're doing the work. But shine the spotlight on them. Let them tell their stories. Let them tell why they have decided to join your mission, your vision. Why. Let them tell their stories. If you have content that's going to educate people, that's going to talk about your cause and related issues, create content around that. Create content around that. And your mission and your values. What's your core mission? What's the goal of your nonprofit? Why you started it? What was the vision? What prompted you? Tell that story. What's your goals? Like for me, I would love to see, we have a goal. We have the Green Light Initiative. The Green Light Initiative is for us to change out the light bulbs in 1,000 elderly homes and change them to smart lights, LED lights. The lights where it doesn't throw off so much carbon. And guess what that's going to do? It's going to help our environment, but it's also going to make their energy bill go down. I have one in my office, right? And the first time I turned it on, I was like, something wrong with that light. But what happens is when I turn the light on, it automatically dims itself. And that's bringing down carbon emissions. That's helping us. So, there's so many ways for you to share your information. This is only part 1 of 8. Only part 1 of 8. I'll be doing a part every single day, Monday through Thursday, about this. Well, not Monday through Thursday, every Tuesday, because it's Talk Business Tuesday. Every Tuesday for the next 7 weeks after today, I'll be talking about how nonprofits can leverage content marketing. So be sure to subscribe to the show if you have not already. If you don't want to miss an episode, you can go to YouTube and look up Good Morning Gwinnett. It's 800 them little videos I was telling you about over there. Yeah, it is. The little videos with the little wavy line, but I have some videos with some people in it too, because some of my videos have live interviews like I did on Wednesday. But for the most part, they got the little wavy line. But here's the thing. You can go in there and listen to them. This video, Talk Business Tuesday, they're all there. Because they're all there, automatically syndicated there. All right? Whew, okay, my voice is hurting a little bit. I just ate a cough drop. All right, I'm going to go to my last song. It's called Leap of Faith. Then I'm going to come back and give you my words of inspiration for the day before I go. So stay tuned. I'll be right back.
Stepping to the edge now, heart beating so loud, sky's calling my name, time to play the game. Feet leave the ground, I hope I won't fall down, no, trusting in the unknown, ready to be shown. Leap of faith I'm taking, no more hesitating. Wings of dreams I'm spreading, future in the making. Light up my fears bright, guide me through the night with courage as my guide. I know I'll be alright. Looking back I see chains that held me. Now I'm breaking free, new horizons to see. Leap of faith I'm taking, no more hesitating, no more hesitating. Wings of dreams I'm spreading, future in the making. Leap of faith I'm taking, no more hesitating. Wings of dreams I'm spreading, future in the making. Leap of faith I'm taking, no more hesitating, no more hesitating, no more hesitating. Wings of dreams I'm spreading, wings of dreams I'm spreading, future in the making. Light up my fears bright, guide me through the night with courage as my guide. I know I'll be alright. Looking back I see chains that held me. Now I'm breaking free, new horizons to see. Looking back I see chains that held me. Now I'm breaking free, new horizons to see.
Welcome back. That was my new song, Leap of Faith. And I'm just going to give my words of inspiration based on that. It was so funny. You know that we're going to be starting the Good Morning Georgia show next Monday. And it was hilarious because my co-host is a planner, and it's always like a lot of moving parts. Like for me, and I realize this about myself. Like I'm kind of like a minimalist in a lot of things, right? Except for shoes. Oh, I'm not a minimalist when it comes to shoes. I'm not. I'm terrible. But with a lot of other things in my life, I'm a minimalist. So for me, he was like, we need to do this. I was like, no, we just need to jump. Just take the leap of faith. Let's go. Because otherwise we'll spend another month just planning out stuff. Nope, we're not doing that. We're going to spend a day. We're going to run through this thing. I already know what I'm doing. You've done this with me before. We're going to go. We're going to jump. It was hilarious. And so sometimes you just have to, because some people will plan stuff to death. They got the research. What are you researching for? Jump. Take the leap and just make the move, right? Grow your wings on your way down. That's what they say. Because sometimes you will spend so much time researching and going back and forth. And here's the thing. There is so much content out there in this world, because there are people that are using content marketing for real. They are. You may not be using it, but they're using it. And every time you pull up a video, an article, a podcast about them, a graphic, they're using it. But it's a lot. it can become overwhelming because then you get to the point you don't know who to listen to. This person said this. This person said that. This person said you should do it this way. This person said you should do it that way. This person said you should wait. This person, listen, jump. Take the leap of faith and just go. I said to him, no, we're not about to do no more planning. We're going to start on August 4th. Let's go. Because here's the thing. We're going to make mistakes. I don't care if you do plan. You think you plan so well. You think you research so much. You got all the answers. You don't. You do not have all the answers because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know we can do all the planning we want, but if I show up at Thrive next week and the doors are locked because the building got condemned because the CO was not right, what we got to do? We got to go. We got to pivot. We got to make the adjustment. We got to go find a location. We're going to run to the library. We're going to go inside the library. We're going to do the show. See, that's what you do. But you got to go. Stop waiting around. Stop trying to find the perfect moment. Stop researching everything. People research stuff to death. Now, I'm a researcher. But I'm not going to research it to death because I know that there is a lot of content in this world. Do you hear what I'm saying? A lot. And everybody's experience is their experience. So what they're telling you is going to be from their experience. Not necessarily the truth, but their truth. And you may say, yeah, I don't really believe that because it's not your truth. You're only going to get your truth when you take the leap of faith and jump. Then you can talk to it from okay, you know what? I know such and such said this, but I really like doing it this way. Just like when I do the Gwinnett Morning Spark, right? And this is just me. Nobody said anything, but I'm basing it on what I'm seeing. I'm looking at local newsletters, and I don't know, the newsletter may make me some money one day. It may not, but I like doing it. They got all these different moving parts to it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do the same thing. I was getting burned out really fast. 5 days a week, trying to put all this content in there. I don't have any writers yet. I just started. I don't have a budget for a writer. I just started, so it's just me. I quickly said, yeah, this is not what I intended. It's not this wasn't the vision I had for this. It wasn't. And where I screwed up at is when I put Gwinnett, when I put the word Gwinnett attached to it. I should have just left it as my original name, and I may just go back. So, take the leap of faith. You got to believe. You got to believe. And you got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in your mission. You got to believe in your vision. It's when you don't believe that it is really, really, really hard. And when you're doing all this research, that means you're scared. I'm not saying don't do your due diligence. I'm not saying that. I'm saying do the research, but stop researching for months. Just jump and grow your wings on your way down. All right? That's all I got for you today. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you spent the last 43 minutes with me. And I love and appreciate you for that. If you missed any episodes of the show, be sure to go to goodmorninggwinnett.com to listen to past episodes there. Also, connect with me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram at Good Morning Gwinnett. Hey, I'll be back again tomorrow at 10 a.m., God willing. You guys stay safe out there. Have a wonderful Tuesday. And until next time, my friends, make it a great day. Bye, y'all.
You've been listening to Good Morning Gwinnett. Make sure to tune in Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time to find out what's happening around Gwinnett. If you like this episode, subscribe now and share with your friends. To learn more about Noise Media Network, visit noisemedia.us.